Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Pagey here once again with another video for you guys. In this video, we're going to be going through Gotham Season 2, Episode 1. This is going to be a review. It will contain spoilers, so if you've not seen the episode, go watch the episode, then come back to this video and discuss what you thought in the comments. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, leave any comments on what you thought in the episode, and subscribe if you are new. So the episode starts off with Bruce going down the stairs, and it's pretty interesting. From the top of the stairs to the bottom of the stairs, he gains a couple of inches, which I thought was pretty funny. They probably should have filmed that scene when they were filming the last scene of Season 1, just for some continuity, if you know what I mean, like him not growing a couple of inches while walking down the stairs. But then we basically get like not a recap, but an update of what everyone else in the Gotham universe is doing, because it does skip ahead 1 month. So we see that Harvey has actually quit the police force and working in a bar. We see Jim is on street duty, and we see Barbara going into Arkham Asylum, like entering herself into Arkham Asylum, and we also see Edward Nigma, like dealing with that like split personality sort of disorder that's going on with him. But that's all we see of Edward Nigma in this episode, which I think is good because there's a lot of other stuff going on. So I think if they save that for a couple of episodes down the path or down the road, whatever you want to say, I think that's good. Develop an episode where it's a lot of Edward Nigma, because he was one of my favourite bits of Season 1, along with like Jim, Gordon, and like the Penguins, like back-to-back talks, like the talks that they had. Now, Jim actually does get fired from his street duty job because he tries to stop this guy, like Zardon, and ends up like pushing up another police officer because he was lazy and late and being an idiot and basically mocking Jim. So Commissioner Loeb obviously doesn't really like Jim, was looking for any tiny excuse to fire him, and he found it, so Jim was now without a job. Now, we hadn't mentioned Penguin yet. Now, as expected, Penguin was running everything. He was like the big dude, the kingpin, whatever you want to call him. Selena Kyle's actually working for him, which I thought was pretty interesting. I don't know if this was just an excuse just to put her in there, but I think when Fish Mooney went, she thought, well, I'll jump on that bandwagon because it looks like it's the good one to jump on. So she jumped on it, and she's not really doing anything. She's just sitting there. Penguin makes like a cat sort of reference, which, it's Catwoman. But we do see Jim go to Penguin. Penguin actually owes Jim a favour from the last season with the whole letting him escape from that, like the hospital room, so he didn't get killed. So Jim asks Penguin to get him his job back. Get Commissioner Loeb out of that position so Jim can obviously become a detective again. And Penguin actually wants Jim to do a favour for him, which involves getting some money back. And throughout this process, Jim actually kills someone, and this is going to be going through his mind throughout at least some of this season, maybe the next couple of episodes. But even throughout this episode, it was still on his mind. Like, he couldn't really confess it to Lee at all, so he's still on his mind a bit, and I think it'll be affecting him for a couple more episodes. One thing I did know is like Butch is now like Penguin's like guard, or like assistant, I guess you could call him, and he's still a bit weird. You can see when he's standing there, he's like making these weird head movements with his jaw as well, which I thought was pretty weird. So Butch is still affected by what happened to him last season. Now, when Barbara's actually in Arkham, she makes friends from the advice of Jerome, who's, I think I'm really starting to like him as a villain. When he was in that episode last season, I was like, it's okay, but in this season he looks like he's going to be a really cool character to keep up with. So Barbara makes these friends and essentially asks for a phone. With this phone, she calls Jim, sort of tries to make him doubt Lee a bit and trying to turn him on her. And then when Jim calls on her bullshit, Barbara ends up ringing Lee, basically threatening to kill her. And yeah, Lee's a bit scared. Now, from what I could gather from this episode, it seems like it's got to be a bit more grim. And by grim, I mean a bit more blood, a bit more dark. And this is evident, not from only the opening scene we see with the Penguin, because Victor Sars shoots someone in the head and you can see like the bullet hole in the back and some blood going like the camera lens. But also when Penguin and Victor go into Commissioner Loeb's house, and it turns out he's cut off one of the guards' heads and just holding it up. I think you see some blood drip down. I might be wrong there, but you see Victor basically use the dude's mouth to talk, which I thought was pretty funny. We then see Theo Gallivant introduced, who's going to be a big part of this season, as we've seen not only from the trailers but also just from this episode. And he's involved with the villain breakout from Arkham, and it's assisted by, I think it's Huntress. Am I wrong? Please correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Huntress. But 6 of the prisoners escape, which include Richard, I think his name was, which was the guy that helped Barbara get the phone, Barbara herself, and also Jerome, and 3 other dudes, which I think one of them is meant to be the Mad Hatter. I think he's meant to be like the dude with the long hair, and he got the blood sprayed on his face when Richard is actually killed by Huntress because he doesn't want to work with Theo, because Richard wants to be the top dog. He wants to be the one in charge. He doesn't work for anyone else. Now, towards the ending of this episode, we actually get Bruce, with the help of Alfred, making like this fertilizer bomb to get into that secret room that his father had. So obviously it's going to work, because it'd be really stupid if it didn't work. It'd be like a waste of 5 to 10 minutes of the show. So it works. Bruce gets in, he finds a letter, and so to cut it short, he gets in, and the letter essentially just says, to highlight, basically highlighting Bruce to find his true calling. He can either live a really happy life, or he can try and find his true calling, which is basically hinting at the Batman. So I don't know what's going to happen with Bruce this season. I think it's just going to be more of him finding about his father's past, and maybe some of his father's connections to some of these villains, maybe. Possibly, that'd be pretty cool. But there's all those computers and stuff in there, maybe some books and files that we didn't see on the screen at that time that Bruce could go through and to find out more about his father's past. So overall, I thought the episode was pretty good. I'd probably give it 3.5 out of 5 bats, and which I think is a pretty good rating for this episode. But yeah, leave your opinion in the comment section below. What did you think of this episode? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. When the promo for the next episode drops, I'll probably make like a breakdown video of that, so that should be up probably in the next day or so, mattering when they drop it. But yeah, make sure you're on the lookout for that, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.